Hey guys, it's Megan from the Book Lounge blog, back again today to have a book discussion / give a book review of Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Before I get started, just please take a moment to admire my beautiful Christmas tree. I'm sitting in the floor today, so you can have this lovely view, so just take a moment to admire it. Oh, and also, please excuse my sinus-y, congested voice. It's sinus season for me, and I'm taking medicine and it's obviously not helping, so you'll just have to ignore that. And also, disclaimer, if you have not read this book, X out of this video right now. X out. Do not watch this because I will spoil it for you. But if you have read this book, stick around and hear me talk about it. So, let's get started. This book is about Tessa Gray and what happens to her when she goes to live with her brother in London after her aunt dies. Her brother sends her a letter and a ticket to London, and she goes to London, gets kidnapped, and finds out that she has this crazy power to shapeshift. And the Dark Sisters take her in and take advantage of her powers and tortures her almost. And I thought that was a neat concept, the whole shape-shifting thing, because I've never read a book about a shapeshifter before, I don't think. And I have read the Mortal Instruments series, and this is the prequel to that. This trilogy is. So everything I'm reading now has already been kind of given away for me, but it's still a great book nonetheless. And I have the next two, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess. I think that's the order, and I'll be reading them I'll be starting within the next day or two. This was a really great first book. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read Cassandra Clare, any of her books, since the summer, and she's one of my favorite authors. I love her action, and now that I'm getting back into it, I realized just how awesome she was because I've read a lot of crappy books since then. And the next part of the book comes when Tessa finds... Oh yeah, she's rescued by two shadow hunters, which hunt demons. And they're after... I don't remember what they were trying to do. Maybe they were trying to bust the Dark Sisters, maybe. And they rescued Tessa. And she went to live in the London Institute with them. And she's kind of not falling in love with Will, and she's kind of not liking Jim, and I don't really like that, mostly because if you've read the Mortal Instruments, if you've already read this whole trilogy and you've read the Mortal Instruments, the plot of the Infernal Devices and the plot of the Mortal Instruments is like almost the same. The plots are like literally almost the same. It's a girl, which in the Mortal Instruments is Clary, and there are two boys that she lives with at their institute who have a sister like Jim, Will, and Jessamine, and they're all shadow hunters, and it was just a little too eerily the same to me, so I'm not liking how she almost like copy-pasted the two plots together, and I'm not liking that, but besides that, it's a good book. It's well written, of course. This is one of the few books that I haven't found a grammatical inaccuracy in, and I'm huge on grammatical errors. So that speaks volumes of this to me. And so the next part of the book, they're all fighting together, obviously. Excuse me. But this time against clockwork machines, and that was interesting to me because I've never thought of clockwork things as dangerous, but Cassandra has turned them dangerous, and it's actually pretty cool how she talks about taking the skin off people and putting it on the machines. I thought that was really grotesque, and I love grotesque. So, oh, and one thing, I actually wrote this down in case I forgot. I have to mention the bridge scene with Jim and Tessa when the robot mechanical thingies like bombard the bridge and come chasing after them. That's probably my favorite scene in the whole book, just because it was really the first time that I felt the action and remembered how well her action books are written. So that was my favorite scene. And then there was the scene of Tessa and Will kissing. And what the crap, Will? What the crap? Like, you can't just kiss a girl and then push her away and be like, oh, hey, sorry, this can't happen, bye. And then he's, at the very end of the book, he kisses her again, and he thinks, I've lost everything, or something like that. Let me see if I can find it by any chance. Probably not. But regardless, he's like, I've lost everything. And that was the same thing that he thought when his parents came back to the Institute for him and he wouldn't go with them. I found it. It's, I have lost everything, Will thought, everything. And so he, like, stopped kissing her or something. And I didn't like that it was never explained what that meant, but I'm sure it will be in one of the next 2 books. And overall, this was a really great book. This was a really great book. And if you're like me and you've only read the first one, I hope you read the next 2 so we can talk about them together, because I'll be putting them up as soon as I finish reading them. And I guess that's really all that I have for this book. It wasn't like a crazy complex plot. I did like how I couldn't guess that Mortmain was the Magister. I loved that because they strung me along, and I was like, go you, Claire. You strung me along. And I can't be strung along too easily. I've watched way too many Criminal Minds episodes. I usually can guess what's coming, but this time I had no clue. I thought Mortmain was just like an idiot mundane, and he didn't even know what was going on, but he played it off pretty well. He did. And, so yeah, it was a pretty great book. It wasn't predictable, like most of the other stuff I've read, and, kept me interested. So yeah, I guess that's it. It was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. So leave a comment below and tell me what you thought about it. Bye!